Yo, I'm in Oxford Street, right? My buddy's spot, Houston. Is the Niger, right? Niger Royal Family, Royal Fragrances by Houston. That's his store on Instagram and Google. So if you type in Royal Niger, Royal Fragrances.
Send me a data, let me play music.
Yeah. But check it out. I'm here with his friend, where I get all my new jewelry from. It's like a whole new country. So I'm getting ready to change styles. I'm gonna get into leather. And what kind of wood is this?
Ebony wood.
Ebony. So ebony woods and bronze and leather. So I'm gonna start getting into that. Now he wants me to try these stones. Man, they're too long.
Malachite stones.
Malachites.
And agates. And turquoise.
So tell them about your store. What's the name of your website on Instagram?
No, I didn't register the website yet. So
Okay.
I'm now registering.
On Facebook. They want to find you on Facebook.
Facebook, yeah, they can find me on Facebook.
You gotta tell them. You want to tell them? Okay. Shy. All right, now these are his stones, so you want you to know where you can go see his stones. Now, what kind of stone is this one?
This is malachite.
Malachite.
Red
Malachite.
Yeah, and turquoise.
And that's turquoise. So I'm familiar with turquoise.
The onyx stone.
They got onyx.
Yeah.
Onyx.
This color is onyx.
It's more like a purple,
Yes.
too.
And the malachite is green.
And the malachite is green.
Green stone.
See, you know I might have to get the purple, but I gotta wait. I don't have any money. So now you're out there, and I'm on my spiritual journey. I believe when I be wearing these stones, they kind of the frequency, the electricity, and all these raw stones. I think it's important that they be like all natural, but everything has a frequency. So I believe when I be wearing all these things, these different frequencies, overall my frequency changes. Because I got the same theory about fragrances, because I'm always wearing a lot of fragrances, because my buddy sells the fragrances. So I might wear like 3 or 4 fragrances. Every time you put on a fragrance, my frequency changes too. So I think it's like an elevation on increasing your frequency. And how do you do that? It's stuff that you eat, stuff that you wear, stuff that you put in contact with your body. Even if you like touch a lot of other people, negative energy, whatever. But if me, I'm like really, I don't touch that many people, but I be wearing different things. You know, like today, I took a lot of my stuff because I had a casting, but the copper, I'm going to be in more copper and more brass. Because copper, we're electrical. Copper does a whole lot for us. Then I found out, like, when you be in Ghana, if you ever go to a temple or a shrine, and they pour the schnapps, and they put this white material, clothing, it's linen. And linen, what I'm finding out of all the material, is electrical. And like the Egyptians and stuff, so linen's all in the Bible. And what they would wrap you in linen, well, linen, that material is spiritual, from what I'm gathering. So I had got one of those things, and then they had put the green vine around it, and I found out about the green vine. So the one I got from the shrine in Jamestown, from one of them chiefs, they did this whole ceremony. We gave like 1,000 US food to all these kids in Jamestown. This guy from Dubai that was trying to get me to give him the formula, so I gave it to him. But he was really a mean person. Rich. Put me up in this hotel called 7 Residence over airport, Jolie, for 19 days, 150 US. I was like, God, what's going on? Because I'd be waiting for God to send humanitarian philanthropists. But he put me in this place. Everybody there was a royal family member. Found out that the owner of that hotel, 7 Residence, he was the crown prince of the Ashanti king. And then I found out about there's only one king, and the God king for all our chiefs. Well, I met the Crown Prince, like the son of current Ashanti King. And I shook the Ashanti King's hand when I went to Kumasi to President Kufu, shout out to President Kufu, his wife's funeral. And what's significant about President Kufu and me, President Kufu was the president of Ghana when he approved HIV tests in 2004 at Tech 37. So President Kufu knows who I am. He approved the teacher, my teacher, Dr. Davis, who was here in 2004. We did an HIV test at Tech 37, the military hospital in Accra. We gave the medicine to 39 soldiers, full-blown AIDS, 20 men, 19 women. They were officers. And it ran on the front page of the graphic newspaper. So if you Google the graphic newspaper, November 30th, 2004, you're going to see on the bottom paragraph, goat serum works. Everybody was happy. President Kufu, shout out to Honorable Bartel, the people who were involved in 2004. The current king, the current chief of Duduwa, he's my buddy. He was really good friends with the scientists. But after that article ran, front page, they tried to kill the scientists once at Labadi Beach, once at the Golden Tulip, tried to poison them. And to where I stayed at for 2 years, 8 months, like in a compound, I first got here, right there in Labadi, Pombo Junction, Pogas. We had illegal electricity, illegal water. It's crazy. Flash went out. And he died January 28th. And owing me 22,000 US. A couple of days, I was like, what am I gonna do? I'd be making friends. I had to call somebody like, yo, can't be homeless in Ghana, waiting on God to send a philanthropist, humanitarian. But I had talked to this Nigerian crown prince, and he had an Airbnb. So now I've been here a year. November will be a year. It's 4,000 CDs a month, it's a lot. But it takes my little bit of money. So I still survive and not thriving. But now, today, I went on an audition for Rhythms, they're having an anniversary show at the Osu Castle, December 6th. I'm going to be in that. I am now the official oldest male runway high fashion model. And I think in Africa, I'm going to say West Africa. Because the people that I compete with or that are modeling with me are all like 25 and under. And they're all like 6'4" and tall. And I'm only 5'9". I'm really 5'8.5". There's no reason in the world I should be a model. And I'm 63. So most of the people I'm going up against are like 30 years younger than me. So that makes it amazing. Then, being here, meeting the people, speaking a little bit of the language. Torio Tang is God for what's up, how'd you buy? And Entesan and Aye is tweet. So that gets me over and saying hello, always speaking in their language. People seem to like that. But the traditions, taking Trotro, which is their public transportation, and being with the least of the least, because I'm here on a spiritual journey. But I do understand the very wealthy, coming from working in LA with Jamie Foxx for 8 years. So I've been around millionaires and billionaires, movie stars. But then being around royal family members, people over here, the type of money I need to be successful, I need philanthropist money, humanitarian money. Money where there's no ROI, no return on investment. It's not like that. It's just that you gotta be involved with eradicating HIV. And my only way I think I can do it and be successful is I gotta give it away. Since they already killed the scientists. And the people who try to get involved with it and try to get money out of it, I wouldn't recommend that. It's weird. It's gotta be like, I'm hoping I get to talk to John, the new president, and his Minister of Health, and maybe even Abraham Tour. My idea is to do like an online in vitro test, which I'm proving how the medicine works in a test tube or a petri dish. But I share the technology with all the Sahel, all the African universities be like this, because this would be the key for Africa being able to kill all the West viruses, in my opinion. Because the viruses I'm talking about do not appear in nature, they're all created. And the family of viruses, if you look up Lentivir, Lentivir, that family of viruses, HIV is at the top because it's always mutating. And the human body cannot recognize a mutating virus. So that's the key. I think pharmaceuticals found that out in 2004. No, like in the 60s. So all these variations, all these viruses, the body has a problem. COVID-1, COVID-2. My medicine, block fusion medicine, which comes out of goat's blood. It's pretty simple. If you Google Dr. Gary Davis, the goat doctor, 20-year Navy captain, you'll see in 2000 he had a dream. God came to him in a dream. It's a Washington Post article about it. Because he's a phenomenal scientist, mathematician, microbiologist, 20-year Navy captain, working at the NIH, National Institute of Health, Dartmouth grad. And he said God came to him in a dream, and the dream was him in the barn with a goat. And he said the voice of God said, this is how you kill HIV. That's it. So then the scientists went in and started studying the immune system of the goat and everything, and he found out that the goat's immune system operates 98% just like a human's, but it's 10 times stronger. Then he found out that the goat's the only mammal in the world that has a thing called a polyclonal antibody. Polyclonal means multiple, right? So imagine it looks like an ant skeleton, but put a capital U on each leg and the antenna. That's what a polyclonal antibody looks like. And that's what happens inside the goat's blood once I inoculate the goat with HIV-1 and 2. HIV-1 is the most aggressive strain in North and South America. HIV-2, the most aggressive strain in Europe and Africa. So I gotta start out with the two worst of the worst of any virus if I'm trying to go after it. And this is what I want to teach the students. When you want to kill a virus, you must start off with the two worst strains of that virus that you want to kill. Once the virologist orders that, you introduce it to a goat. You just get injected. The goat is fine. Remember, the goat's immune system is 10 times stronger. And the goat has polyclonal antibodies. And the goat's immune system knows this, how to recognize a man-made mutating virus in real time. So it don't matter what's in the human body. This medicine can recognize it as being a foreign, like intrusion, like a virus. And it has the ability to kill it because its receptors are big enough. It's all about the size of the receptors. Humans, we have monoclonal antibodies. Looks like a capital Y. Under a microscope, HIV virus looks like a circle with a bunch of pieces of broccoli and cauliflower sticking out of it. Those things sticking out of viruses on the picture are extremely important to killing it. They're like, it's a crazy analogy, but if you have like a circle, a bunch of penises, right, floating down, in order to neutralize the virus, you got to put a condom on it. You got to cover the tip. So when the virus is floating through your bloodstream, those things sticking out, they're dangerous. They can get into things. So you got to cap it off. And that's what the antibody is supposed to do. Humans, we have monoclonal antibodies. So that little upside down Y is supposed to come in there and zap, cover that piece of broccoli looking thing. But what happens, by the time P24, which is like a communication cell, he sends a cytokine message to the CD4 cell. The T cell is like a general. He has to tell all the other parts of the immune system what to do. You got the CD3, the CD8, the bone marrow, and the monoclonal antibody. It looks like an upside down Y. So think of the monoclonal antibody as the Kraken, like in the Sinbad movie that comes out of the ocean ready to fuck up something. Well, the monoclonal antibody is supposed to go there and cover the receptor, block the receptor. See, that's where I came up with the idea of this technology we call block fusion, because it's going to be the only medicine that can neutralize the virus while it's in the bloodstream. But it also has the ability to do what no man medicine can do now, which is go inside the protective membrane. When I tell you that currently 95% of the medicine that you're getting injected in you is ineffective, what do you mean, Sherman? Well, imagine this. All your internal organs has this thing called a protective membrane around it. I'll do it right after I finish it. I tried it twice and it kept kicking me out. I was working on that before I did. Sorry, I'm trying to settle up with these. So, right there, polyclonal antibody that I extract out of the white blood cells of a goat after I inoculate the virus in the goat 8 weeks prior. Once I purify it, push it through a bunch of filters, 0.2 milligram filter, 10,000 molecular weight snakeskin, old-fashioned dialysis. Because I got to clean that goat's blood and extract out the cytokines. Because that's another big part on why does the medicine restore the human back to normal. See, not only does the virus hunt down the HIV virus, that's what I was talking about, why most medicine is kind of not effective. When you get an injection right now, any antibiotic, any injection, when that medicine tries to get inside of your organ, the scientist, when he was teaching me these concepts, he would always have to break it down because he knows I'm not a scientist. I'm just a guy. He said the hand of God was going to use me in 2003. So if you Google my name, Clyde Sherman, and if you already go to YouTube, you type in The Adventures of Clyde Sherman, Dr. Gary Davis, and France in Africa, I kind of documented this whole adventure, leaving the set of Collateral, working with Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx. I was Jamie Foxx's assistant for 8 years, fired me 3 times. When this happened, I was working for him, but I had to get time off. So I made up that I was going to visit my dad in Philly for prostate cancer, which he did have, but it went in remission by the time I had to leave. So I had told everybody on the set that I had to go. My dad got prostate cancer. So everybody was sad. So the stunt coordinator honored my contract. So I wasn't even in the country when they shot my scene, but I get residuals from Collateral. That's the most money I make on any film I did was Collateral, even to the day. But I wasn't even in the country. So they all heard that I was leaving the set early, and I didn't tell them there that I wasn't going to Philly, but I'm really going to France to learn how to make this HIV medicine because the scientists said the hand of God is on me. And they were supposed to give me money, and they didn't. So every time I'm thinking somebody's going to take care of it, like even over here, they were supposed to give me $25,000. When the scientists was here in 2004, they gave him $300,000 US a month. He lived like a real king. He was hanging out with the king of Dudawa, who just became king. And he was a wealthy king when he became king, young. And he used to be going to the Golden Tulip to meet the scientists. And the scientists, Dr. Davis, like chumpies. So every night in the lobby, he was drinking a lot of bourbon. He had a back injury, and he was self-medicating with the bourbon with the back injury. 20-year Navy captain, brilliant. So, but he also stayed where I stayed, right there, Palmer Junction Trade Fair. And so that's why I stayed there when I came here, because that's where he stayed. And all I was doing was be communicating with him from the United States when he was telling me things about Ghana and King of Dudawa and Honorable Bartel and hanging out with President Kufuor. So President Kufuor approved the secret test, and it was done successfully at Tech 37, the military hospital, with 39 soldiers. I was in the United States, so I was still working for Jamie. But when they did November 30th, we made an announcement Sherman at the medicine that I helped them make in France in 2003, in a place called Retigny, right above Cannes. 30 days I took this medicine in, and I remember it like it was yesterday. And he said, Sherman, I'm gonna put it on your heart, God's gonna help me. And God has actually helped me. Since I've been here for 3 years, 6 months, the only way I survived, God be putting people in my life, like sending little angels. But the demon attacks, they come. Anybody come around cursing at me, talking about Americans, asking me about Trump, some stupid stuff like that. But listen, just because I'm an American, and they know my buddy, and they be here, and he lets everybody walk up on me, I'm like, nah, I'm not sitting there entertaining nothing crazy like that. I be telling them, like, that's a demon. He was like, ah, Sherman, you think everybody's a demon? A demon is somebody that's not for me. Negative energy. It was like nothing in their conversation, nothing about what they're doing, like they here and they ain't even buying nothing or sharing anything. Like, why are they here? And then I asked him, is that your friend? He goes, no, I don't know them. I said, they definitely don't know me, so I don't want to sit here and be like the reason, because I'm kind of strange. I'm American. I'll be here all the time. Relaxing, waiting on God to send somebody. Because God sends like ordinary people to do extraordinary things all the time, like me. Because if you Google me, you won't see no doctorate degree. But ain't nobody in the world can tell you more about HIV and the human immune system than me. And I challenge AI on everybody. Yeah, Harvard, MIT. They couldn't touch me. All you gotta do is ask them, how do you kill an HIV virus in 3 days with no side effects? And restore the human body back to normal. All in 3 days. So you're gonna know, like, damn, where'd that medicine come from? God. Who's it for, God's people? All the African countries are supposed to get this technology. So once I teach the young guys, young kids in school, if the professors could just push their egos and their degrees to the side and follow simple instructions. It's a formula, it's math, and I use a poison. That sets it all up. Like, Sherman, why are you using a poison? Because the question would be like, how are you isolating the antibody in the goat's blood and the cytokines? You know, I talk about cytokines, but if you don't know how the human's immune system operates, theoretically, see, they might say theoretically, but I believe with everything because that's what the scientists taught me. The CD4 cell has a big job. It is in charge of communicating with the immune system, giving it instructions. And if the CD4 cell doesn't send that cytokine message, they just do what they do when the human's immune system stops working. Like when you get HIV, P24 sends a signal to CD4 cell that there's like an intruder or whatever. And then the CD4 cell dispatches out cytokine messages to the CD8, CD3. And CD8 and CD3, people think that they're killer cells, but they're not. To me, because they do grip up on the virus, but they do ignore are the receptors. The only one it seems like in the human body that's supposed to cover those receptors is the antibody. That's his job, and that's where the human's immune system fails, because the antibody, once it gets the cytokine message from the CD4 cell to go out to the CD4 cell sends the cytokine message to the bone marrow to release the antibodies, because the antibodies live in the bone marrow. So here comes the monoclonal antibodies flying out like I call them like the Kraken in the Sinbad movie. They're flying in. They look like capital Y's. And their objective is to cover the exterior receptor of HIV. It looks like a piece of broccoli. The diameter of the receptor, from what Dr. Davis said, is wide. It might not even fit. I think the monoclonal antibody to human is too small. And it doesn't have the ability to recognize the mutating virus in real time. So what really happens, HIV has the ability to mutate. And that's where the human loses it. Because HIV could be right next to the antibody, like, yo, what's up? But it changed. So the antibody doesn't see it as HIV. When he walks right by it, it goes right to a T cell. Because the receptor's open, fusion happens. Once it's into the T cell, the CD4 cell, the CD4 cell is dead. And HIV comes out looking different. And his next job, they go getting in a CD4 cell. And that's what happened. He just goes around cutting the throat of all the CD4 cells. And now that he killed all the CD4 cells, and he went from like 12 to 1400, which is a normal immune system of human, and you fall to like 600, you're now HIV, and you got full-blown AIDS. You don't have enough T cells to generate cytokine messages to tell the immune system what to do. So now, some of the immune system's not working. They're not getting enough T cells, not telling them what to do. So here comes pneumonia. Here comes tuberculosis. And the P24s, oh, here they come. And the CD8, CD8, oh man, go to the mattresses, right? they get ready, but they still need an instructions from the CD4 cell. So they keep looking at the shell of CD4 cell that's been mutilated and killed, but they keep looking at it because that's all they see. That's what the CD4 cell looks like to them. And they think it is going to send a message to it. They don't know that HIV's already been in there and killed it and left it. So the human's immune system stops working. It becomes suppressed. And it's only because there's not enough cytokine messages coming from healthy T cells because they got full needs. So to reverse that, when I take the polyclonal antibody out of the ghost blood that I purposely created because I inoculated the goat with HIV 1 and 2, the goat is fine. The goat creates this antibody, polyclonal antibody, and it kills HIV. So I know how to take that out of the ghost blood. Or to the students, that's the objective. You gotta remove the polyclonal antibody out of the white blood cells of the goat, and you gotta take the cytokines too. So you gotta understand all the cytokines, and that's where I want to make Ghana like experts in block fusion technology. Because you're gonna have to really explain it. He's like, Sherman, you're gonna have to know this so well. Like they're gonna ask you, what's the patient doing 20 minutes after the injection of 5 cc's? You gotta explain it theoretically. What's going on? And then the second day, when you get the injection, that's where the Holy Ghost part of it is, because it does some stuff that no man-made medicine can do. It goes inside, penetrates the protective membrane, it surrounds all of our internal organs. I think earlier I was telling you the analogy, think of all your internal organs as a 10-story condo. And the front door is the size of a dime, American dime. And smallest molecule man right now, AI technology, can produce medicine the size of a nickel. So theoretically, unfortunately, my theory, when a person gets an injection of medicine right now, yes, the medicine is dealing with virus in the blood, but when that medicine comes up to the protective membrane of any internal organ, which has this standard membrane around it, they're too big to get in. So you got virus all up in your organs. My medicine is small enough to penetrate the protective membrane in all your internal organs. And my polyclonal antibody has the ability to recognize a man-made mutating virus in real time. So if you have any of the lentiviral viruses, lentiviral, Lentivir, is a family virus that HIV is in, and it's at the top of the family. And the crazy problem is HIV has the ability to mutate, and the human body cannot recognize a man-made mutating virus in real time. So say the antibodies, the HIV is there, and then CD4 cell dispatches that information to the bone marrow to create an antibody. Here comes the antibody. By the time the antibody gets to the virus, it's changed its receptor. Theoretically. So I don't think that now the antibodies don't work. So they got to cover those receptors. That's their main job. And when HIV mutates, the monoclonal antibody can't see it, can't differentiate. So these are the reasons why the current humans' immune systems fail when it comes up against any of the lentiviral family viruses. Not just HIV. HIV is at the top. Right under HIV is Ebola, birth, cancer, diabetes, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, malaria, tuberculosis, MS, COVID. All those viruses. To kill them, you gotta cover receptor. I think the monoclonal antibody can't recognize the mutation, and I think it's too small. So what do? I'm using a whole new antibody, stronger, better, that has the ability to recognize mutations. So it's like I'm using a super duper polyclonal antibody. Looks more like an ant skeleton, but put a capital U on each leg. So centipede is like in the antenna, compared to like a capital Y. And that dome shape, cover those pieces of broccoli like that. And that's what happens. Once you cover the receptors of HIV or any virus, 20 minutes later the virus is took it down. And since I'm doing that in the blood and inside all your organs simultaneously, plus I'm sending cytokine message to the immune system, I'm waking up the B24, the CD8, the CD3, the bone marrow. So it's like this whole holy war launches on HIV all over the body. Because the question is, Sherman, why does your medicine work in 3 days with no negative side effect? What is the medicine doing? And the answer is, first injection, 5 cc's in the shoulder, I am killing HIV in the blood, all over the human body. Probably about 2 hours. Because the polychlorine antibodies are very aggressive, and they can tell what HIV is. And all they do is just cover the receptor. It's like the virus, we wiggle a little bit, you suffocate it, like cover the receptor. Block fusion in the blood. Now, you're going to have to say, well, what about the virus already inside the organs? This is where the human immune system will never be able to get to. Well, human immune system can put man-made medicines, right? Because when you get an injection, I don't know what AI antivirals do. I don't know about. I'm just knowing what I do, the medicine type of things to it. But I don't believe what they're trying to do is kill HIV. I think they're dealing with it, treating it. But whatever they're doing, it has a negative side effect on your kidney or liver, per se. For mine, it doesn't. After 3 days, it neutralizes in the blood of the human. And everything is derivative from the goat's blood. And because the immune system is so similar to ours, that's the only reason why it happens. But I will tell you one thing. I was arguing with a scientist one time because he kept saying God is good. I said, God ain't good. He created HIV. And he said, Sherman, you act like an asshole. He said, call me an asshole. I said, why you call me an asshole? Because you act like an asshole. God is good. I said, all right, all the time, God's good. See, remember, he's very religious. She said, why would you say that? I said, well, you said he created everything. That means he created HIV. Riddle me that, Batman. I'm trying to be smart.